Hi Cancer, welcome to your mid-February 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here, so just shuffling the cards. Let's put 4, or let's do 5, 6, and ta-da! Okay, can we see 3 Major Arcana cards? No. Oh, that's all right. Well, there we go. Well, I'm not really surprised I'm getting all these Major Arcana cards because you still have eclipses. Yep, there's another Major Arcana card. I don't know if you could see that. That was the Hermit. Let me put these up a little bit more. Okay. So, wow. That's really something. The heart of the matter is the Star card. This is a card that is associated with Aquarius. Of course, we still have, this reading is intended for the last half of February, so we have Aquarius until the 18th. I'm recording this on the 10th, so 8 more days. Ooh, that's blurry. And the Star card is about the idea of healing and hope restored. So if a person has gone through a difficult season, that can be a real kind of like a joyful thing to see. I'm thinking, because I think I had something like that where I picked a card where I was going through a difficult time and I got the Star card, and I really felt like it was symbolizing that the worst was over. I can't remember, but I just have this very strong bond with that card, and I'm sure some of you do as well, because to me it's like believing that your dreams can come true. And sometimes, let's face it, we get knocked off that we get the stuffing kicked out of us with certain events. The wind knocked out of our sails is, I think, what I was thinking of. And it's hard to have hope, because it feels like bleak, and it's so easy to get cynical. And so I hope that card brings some of you healing if you've been feeling that life has been challenging. And for Cancer, because of the situation of the eclipses, and because of Pluto opposing your sun or your rising sign, if you're Cancer rising and you're watching this, then that's in your first, coming from your 7th house. So it could be, or anybody actually, even if it's your sun in the solar chart. But so relationship matters really kind of being difficult in some cases, where Saturn and Pluto and the South Node in the 7th house for all of you. Well, in a general sense. At some point, definitely. So that's one of the things. Even if you don't have certain transits at the time that I'm saying it, you've probably already had that happen, or you're about to, and you could still be feeling the impending situation about to occur. So this can be, the Star card can be that that there's a loved one who has crossed over that is trying to communicate with you, help you, and probably, I would say, let you know that all is well. But who knows? Maybe they're trying to pull some strings and help you do what you want to do. In the past position, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune in the upright position is positive. It's connected to Jupiter. And, that's an interesting thing, because Jupiter is now in Capricorn. Maybe that's talking about when things started to get a little bit better. which would have been in early December. And you just had a lunar eclipse in your sign, but you had a solar eclipse around Christmas time, and in Capricorn. So that might have affected your relationship area in a positive way, or any kind of an outcome of a legal matter. And that, sometimes that can even bring money attached to it, and that might have been a feeling of life is getting better, because the Wheel of Fortune is about the cycles in life, and sometimes we feel more like the guy on the bottom that's falling off, and then sometimes we feel like the person on top who's raising a glass and toasting their wonderful achievements, or whatever has been happening that's been very positive. The higher message is the Queen of Swords. So what I would say is, I think, and this may even be a loved one that has crossed over, who has said, maybe this is like a mother. If your mother has crossed over, they are the one who is doing this. But this may be them saying, you did good. Obviously, well is grammatically correct, but you did the right thing. Good on you. You weathered the storm. I'm proud of you. Because the Queen of Swords is kind of that stiff upper lip to me, for a Cancer person, where you may have had to kind of really swallow a lot of emotion that you normally would give, so that you could get through a certain situation. And now that you've gotten through it, it's like life is starting to click again, and you're starting to have hope, and you're having alignment, and things are coming to fruition, or are going to, because I have as a challenge the Fool card. So this is very interesting, because you know what? The first thing I saw was that 0, and there will be a solar eclipse on the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere at 0 degrees of Cancer. And I'm thinking that this is a timing card for when your life will really begin in earnest. So perhaps you have several more months to kind of come, emerge from a former period, heal, and you'll really make your debut this summer, because the Fool is on an entirely new journey, the first card in the tarot. So it's the exposure of, it's the absolute new beginnings, let's put it that way. And in the meantime, you may kind of sense that things are going to change. Like I said, or maybe I didn't say, the major arcana cards can indicate a lot of change afoot. If I get, out of 7 cards, I get 4 of them are major arcana. And given that the ratio of minor arcana to major arcana, there's many more minor arcana cards. So even statistically, you would think I would get more minor arcana. So this to me symbolizes that Cancers are having a major period of time. You're having, that North Node is in one of the earlier degrees, and will be changing over into Gemini. I believe it's in May, like May 5th, around that time. So between now and then, you still have this influence of the North Node in your sign. Be aware, be totally aware of synchronicities that occur in your reality, so that you can pick up on any signs that may indicate which direction to go. Because with the Fool card, And with this solar eclipse at the 0 degree mark, remember the degrees matter. They hold their own energy. And the 0 is the unknown element. So it can indicate that you have the ability to totally program what you want to manifest at a deep level, whereas, sometimes it'll be flavored by a certain degree. This is, totally open, wide open. And yet, it's not time yet. You still have this incubation process, I guess, and then you'll be fully ready to embrace a new life come your, well, I'm going to say your solar return, but the solar eclipse, And so what is coming in, or the advice, Knight of Pentacles. Can't get much more down to earth than this. This is connected to Taurus. So this idea of just kind of putting your nose to the grindstone, working the material resources, building up your material resources so that whatever you dream of, which can represent the star card, can be attracted, but coming from stability, not coming from just kind of being all over the place. And that's really the best thing when like if you, let's say you wanted to start a new, your own business, having that capital, having money to fall back on, of course that makes sense. That it ensures your ability to be successful a lot more than if you're just completely relying on your business taking off from day one. That's not necessarily very realistic. So I think also the Knight of Pentacles is suggesting that it's really, and it also involves you putting in the effort. So maybe you can also be laying the groundwork for some of the things that you want to accomplish, from very basic, tangible things that you can do in the meantime before you are, fully functional or ready to just kind of go into this new life. And the outcome is the Hermit. So this is another thing that I wanted to say. We just had a full moon yesterday, because I'm recording this on February 10th, and it was in Leo. Leo is your 12th, I'm sorry, Leo is your second house of earned income. And what is happening in 2020 is that you may find that your career situation, it's very possible that you're going to experience more stability, because Aries is your 10th house, and there have been all kinds of Uranus has been through there, and Leo in your second house of earned income may have brought a raise or something like that. And you're going to have a new moon in that 10th house in March. So this spring, in the next couple of months, so we're having, boost to your income, boost to your career. But with the Hermit, this is more of a private thing. So with your 12th house is Gemini. And Gemini has is going to have a lunar eclipse later this year. We're going to start having eclipses in both Sagittarius and Gemini, in addition to the ones in your sign in Capricorn, and that's going to hit your 12th house. So what I think is going to happen, there's going to be a lunar eclipse in late November in this sector in the 12th house for you, is that you, Cancer, are going to naturally, you know what I was thinking, because I was thinking, well, that's kind of like pretty far in the future. So maybe even more than that is the North Node going into the 12th house. So right now the North Node is in the first house in your sign, but in May it will be going into that 12th house. And what I'm trying to get at, the eclipses and the transiting nodes are connected, so it's not, separate in that sense. But it's it's going to be in the near future that the nodes are going to change over. And when the North Node goes into your 12th house, the Hermit is activated full time, because you're going to really be thinking about otherworldly things, and this could even connect with future career plans. So in the immediate future, you do have this full moon that just happened in your second house in Leo, and that could be a boost to your income. For some of you, if you are in between jobs and the full moon has meant that you have lost a source of income, or that you have retired and you're kind of in that transition, then the North Node going into your 12th house will create a sense of comfort for you, where you're able to see life in a deeper way. So it's not going to be just about survival issues, which is really great, because I feel sometimes that Cancers can hold themselves back by being too into survival mode, and being able, to me the Star card ultimately is trusting in the universe, that the universe has your back, is always on your side no matter what. The Wheel of Fortune is like, there's this sense of cycles happening, and you may have had a rough cycle, and now you're having more alignment, more, just things happening more that you want to happen. But the Star card to me is that when you always follow that illuminated source, which is ultimately God, you're never going to be led astray, and you're never going to have a lack of alignment, because you know that everything is happening for your benefit, even if it doesn't seem so in a material sense. It's always happening. But I think that you are starting to have more financial gains, so and also maybe career stability as well. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, Cancer. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.